I stared at the ceiling of my empty penthouse, my phone resting heavy on my chest. This quiet is starting to feel less like a luxury and more like a physical ache. 5 days. 5 days of staring at spreadsheets, talking clients off financial ledges, and pretending I wasn't completely consumed by an architect who had effectively made me a mess of heartfelt emotion. I picked up the phone, my thumb hovering over her name. The engine downstairs, the one currently running on pure, unadulterated anticipation of Saturday, was already hummed to life. I needed to bridge the distance. But I wasn't going to send a boring, "How was your day?" text. No, if we were playing the 80s ballad game, I was going to open with heavy artillery. I queued up Foreigner, specifically the ultimate lay your soul bare anthem. In my life, there's been heartache and pain. I don't know if I can face it again. Can't stop now. I've traveled so far to change this lonely life, I texted. I hit send and immediately tossed the phone on the cushion. My chest tensed, my heart pounding a frantic, uneven rhythm against my ribs. It was raw. It was incredibly exposed. A financial advisor is supposed to mitigate risk, to diversify assets, to never, under any circumstances, guarantee a return on an unhedged bet. But with Elara, I was throwing the entire rulebook directly into the fireplace. My phone buzzed, the vibration rattling against the leather. I practically lunged for it like a starving man.
You are definitely not pulling any punches to start off Thursday night, Roman. Foreigner is a heavy choice, but it is incredibly accurate. I know exactly how much heartache and pain we both have been carrying. And if you are asking me to show you what love is, I plan on doing exactly that on Saturday.
Good God, the air completely left my lungs. Saturday, I muttered to myself, a slow, utterly ruined smirk spreading across my face. She was going to show me. She wasn't running. She had looked at her past, and instead of searching for the nearest emergency exit, she was stepping right into the firing line with me. My fingers flew across the keypad. The self control engine was blinking red, warning signals flashing across the dashboard of my brain. I didn't care. I texted, "Honesty warning. I want to spend the rest of our lives showing each other."
I sat cross legged on my couch, clutching my phone to my chest and letting out a silent, manic scream of triumph. Honesty warning? The rest of our lives? My heart did a ridiculous, high flying trapeze act inside my ribs, completely ignoring my brain's desperate attempts to keep my professional, composed, architect exterior intact. On a Britney Spears scale of romantic panic, I was currently a solid, shaved head with an umbrella, but in the absolute best possible way. The unshakable, always in control Roman was dropping honesty warnings like tactical love bombs on a Thursday night. I took a deep, shaky breath, forced my fingers to stop trembling, and typed back. Honesty warning accepted, because the absolute truth is, I don't want to spend the rest of my life doing anything else either. If Saturday is the first day of us officially showing each other, then Saturday cannot get here fast enough. I stared at the screen, my inner monologue popping off a round of fireworks. We were doing this. No rules, no distance, no clever deflector shields. Just us sliding headfirst into the deep end. The three little typing bubbles appeared almost instantly. He was right there.
And I'm not asking you to show me. I will never ask you to do that. I want you to do it because you want to. But as the song says, I want to know what love is. I've never been in love to my knowledge. I've only said, "I love you" to one woman before in my life.
My breath caught in my throat. The playful, competitive energy of the texting game evaporated in a single heartbeat, replaced by a heavy, profound warmth that made my chest actually ache. Only one woman. This man, who had built a reputation as the composed man, was handing me the keys to his most private vault. He didn't toss those words around casually. He didn't use them to smooth things over or charm his way into pants. He guarded them fiercely, and he was trusting me with the weight of that. Reading this just made my chest actually ache, Roman, I texted. You don't ever have to worry about asking or expecting me to do it. I am going to show you because there is absolutely nothing I want more. We are going to figure out exactly what love is together. I sat there, holding my breath, staring at the screen. The vulnerability of the moment hung thick in the air, even across the digital divide. Then my phone pinged.
Are you curious at all as to who that woman is or was?
My inner gossip and my deeply invested heart collided. Of course I was curious. My brain was already running through a list of tragic high school sweethearts or mysterious past engagements. I typed, I am incredibly curious, Roman. Knowing you have only ever said those words once means whoever she was must have held a massive piece of your heart. I definitely want to know everything about you, but you don't have to type something that heavy. I am ready to listen whenever you are ready to tell me. I braced myself, wrapping my fingers around a throw pillow, ready for the heartbreaking romance story.
The woman is my mom. I leaned my back against the couch cushions, a quiet, genuine laugh escaping my chest as I pictured her reaction. I could practically see her blue eyes widening, her nose scrunching up in that fiercely adorable way of hers, as she realized I had completely led her down a dramatic, heartbreaking rabbit hole, only to reveal my mother. My phone buzzed. She didn't keep me waiting.
I was actually sitting here holding my breath, entirely prepared to hear some heavy, heartbreaking story about a past romance. And it was your mom? That is officially the sweetest, most incredibly grounded thing you have ever said to me, Roman. I appreciate that you guard those words that fiercely, and that I might be the only other person who ever gets to hear them. It makes me realize exactly how much this actually means to you.
An unshakable peace washed over me. She understood. She didn't think it was silly or childish. She saw the gravity behind it. I don't give away pieces of my heart easily, but Elara was already holding a massive share of it, and she didn't even have to fight for it. But as much as I loved her appreciating my honesty, it was time to turn the calculated risk back in her direction. If we were laying our cards on the table, I needed to see her hand. I replied, now I have to ask the counter question, and I'll preface it the same way you did. You don't have to go into detail unless you want to. Have you been in love with someone other than your family members? I waited. The silence of the penthouse stretched out, suddenly feeling heavy again. I adjusted my posture, crossing my ankles and staring at the little typing bubbles that appeared, disappeared, and appeared again. My self control was holding, but the tension in my shoulders was real.
I really appreciate you giving me the option not to go into detail, Roman. The honest answer is yes, I have. But it ended incredibly badly, and it is the exact reason I locked my life down so tightly before you showed up. You absolutely deserve to hear the whole story, and I promise I will tell you everything. It just doesn't feel right to type something that heavy out over a text message tonight. I want to save that conversation for when I am actually sitting next to you. Is it okay if we just focus on Saturday for now?
Ugh, ouch. No, not a physical ouch. It was the sharp, protective sting of realizing someone else had once held her heart and had completely broken it, forcing her to build those towering, icy walls I'd had to spend months chipping away at. I wanted to find the bastard who did it and show him exactly how a fixer handles broken contracts. But she was right. Texting wasn't the place for the X Files. I needed to be sitting next to her, holding her hand, letting her know she was safe. I typed, "Absolutely, and I'm sorry I asked, but if I want to know what love is, how do I know? What are the signs? When do I know? Since you know, I thought you might be able to help me."
I let out a long, heavy sigh of relief, my pragmatic defenses melting at his swift, gentle apology. The fact that this incredibly successful, gorgeous man didn't push, didn't demand immediate answers, and didn't make me feel guilty for keeping my past guarded was, well, it was ruinous. He was systematically destroying every single rule I'd ever made to protect myself. And then he asked the question, "How do you know the signs?" I stared at the screen, my inner pop culture engine completely shutting down for once. No sarcastic tangents, no reality TV analogies, just raw, terrifyingly honest introspection. "You never have to apologize for asking me anything," I replied. "The truth is, the love I experienced in the past was completely blinding and ended up breaking me. So I might not be the ultimate expert, but based on what I am feeling right now, I think the signs are actually pretty simple. It is when you completely stop looking for a reason to run, when you realize you don't have to hide the heavy, messy parts of yourself anymore. And when the thought of seeing that person on a Saturday night is the absolute only thing keeping you focused all week. We are going to figure out exactly what it is together." I hit send, my cheeks burning. I had basically just handed him the complete, unedited blueprints to my soul. My phone buzzed almost immediately.
I fired back quickly. The irony of this situation is that I've been pursuing you, so I'm running in your direction, so to speak. And now that I have taken a step back after you have dropped your walls, I've spent a lot of time thinking about how I feel instead of consuming myself with your feelings. And I'm trying to answer that question now. I want to know what love is.
I stared at the text, my heart doing a slow, heavy roll. He was running in my direction. The whole time I had been panicking, building walls, and trying to freeze him out, he had just been running toward me, entirely focused on making sure I felt safe. And now that he had a moment to breathe, he was looking in his own mirror. I poured my heart out into my reply. It is incredibly ironic. You spent months doing absolutely nothing but running in my direction, entirely consumed with managing my panic and making sure my walls came down safely. I actually love that you are finally taking a step back to focus on yourself and process what you are feeling. because you absolutely deserve to know what love is, Roman. You deserve to have someone run in your direction too. And I promise you, I am not running away anymore. I meant every single word. I was done searching for the exit.
I decided to drop another line from that song. I'm going to take a little time to look around me. I don't say that to scare you. The lyrics just hit home. I'm not going anywhere. I am yours. But I need to look in the mirror and know what I'm feeling. I want to know if I have found it.
It doesn't scare me at all, Roman. After the way you spent months completely consumed with making sure my life was secure, you absolutely deserve to take a little time to look around and process your own heart. And because you explicitly promised that you aren't going anywhere and that you are mine, I don't feel a single ounce of panic. Take all the time you need to look in that mirror and figure out if you have found it. I will be right here. My phone lay silent for a long moment. No typing bubbles, just a lingering electric quiet. Then the screen illuminated.
I know this. If you were to say to me that I'm not interested in you romantically, Roman, I would be absolutely 100% devastated. That is not meant to pressure you. That just makes me think that I have found it. That if you weren't in my life, I would not be complete. Devastated. I didn't use that word lightly. In my line of work, a bad investment is a setback. A lost client is a minor irritation. But Elara, if she walked away, if she decided this was all just a temporary detour, my entire world would be permanently out of alignment. My phone buzzed, cutting through my dark, intense thoughts like a beacon.
You never have to worry about me ever saying those words to you. The truth is, the thought of not having you in my life absolutely devastates me, too. Maybe you don't have to look in the mirror to figure it out. I am completely interested in you romantically. Trust me.
A slow, deep breath escaped my lips. The tension in my shoulders completely dissolved, replaced by a profound, unshakable peace. We were on the exact same page. The contract was signed, sealed, and executed. It was time to ease the heavy gravity of the moment and bring back the playful, competitive spark that always made us burn. I needed to remind her of where this all started. I texted her, I feel fortunate to say I get the joy of rediscovering you. Name that song. I waited, a smirk returning to my face.
Journey, open arms. You are definitely trying to slide that classic past me.
I chuckled, tapping my phone screen. Well, the band was right, but not the right song. It is Faithfully by Journey.
Faithfully by Journey? I blew that one. I am very fortunate that you are the one who gets to do it. And since we are finishing the lyrics tonight, I am forever yours, too.
My thumb traced the screen, my heart pounding a frantic, happy rhythm. Perfect. I am forever yours, faithfully, I typed. I am blessed that you trust me to see the real Elara behind the walls. I knew there was something better than what I originally saw on that rooftop that night, but I had no idea how perfect she was. What a blessing.
I stared at the word perfect on my screen, my inner hussy doing a full-on victory dance, while my brain tried to find its footing. Perfect? Me? If Roman only knew the sheer level of chaotic self-talk happening in my apartment right now, he'd realize I was about as far from perfect as a demolition site. But the fact that he saw through all my icy defense mechanisms, past the sarcasm, and viewed the real me as a blessing, well, my heart was officially sealed. I sent my reply. You definitely didn't see the best version of me on that terrace. I was actively trying to freeze you out. I'm glad you decided to stay. That is the absolute best thing that has ever happened to me. I am definitely not perfect, but I promise you get the real me from here on out. I feel incredibly blessed to have you too. I popped my hand on my hip, smiling like a complete loon at my empty living room. I was fully invested. No backup plans, no escape routes. Then my phone pinged. The fixer was pulling out the heavy, romantic artillery again.
I'm so glad I stayed. Search your heart, search your soul, and when you find me there, you'll search no more.
My jaw bounced off the floor. Bryan Adams, the Robin Hood anthem. He was literally pulling out every single 80s classic in existence. Bryan Adams, you are pulling out all the absolute classics tonight, I replied. I am so, so glad you stayed. I am done searching. I found exactly what I want. I smiled, waiting for his response. I figured he'd tease me about officially winning Thursday night. Instead, he dropped a logistical bombshell that completely derailed my breathing.
Everything I do it for you. And I haven't even begun to show you that yet. You'll see it Saturday. Here is another hint. You will be in an elegant gown for the evening, and I cannot wait to see you in it. An elegant gown. I let a slow, thoroughly dangerous smirk spread across my face as I typed those words. I had spent the afternoon coordinating the entire itinerary with Jeeves, arranging the private shopping trip, and finalizing the reservations. The visual image in my brain of Elara standing in my penthouse foyer wearing a sleek, elegant evening gown, her waves cascading down her bare shoulders, her blue eyes looking up at me with that quiet, devastating confidence, was already driving me insane. My phone buzzed. She was reeling from the hint.
An elegant gown. You certainly are raising the stakes for Saturday night. I cannot wait to dress up for you. Is there a specific color you want me to wear? Or is that part of the surprise?
That is part of the surprise as well. Can it be Saturday already? I want to show you so badly. It is getting hard for me to keep giving you these teasers. I want to prove what I'm willing to do for you, that I would die for you. I hit send and then immediately pinched the bridge of my nose, letting out a low, ragged exhale. Die for you. Jesus, Roman, I muttered to myself, running a hand through my hair. The raw intensity of what I was feeling was completely out of my depth. I was a wealth manager, a composed professional, yet with Elara, I was acting like a dramatic, emotional teenager writing notes to pass her in study hall. It was raw, it was messy, and it was entirely out of my control. My phone buzzed.
You are being relentless with these lyrics tonight. Well, you don't have to die for me. I just want you to live for me. I just want you right here. I honestly don't know how I am going to focus on a single thing tomorrow. Saturday is going to be incredible.
I swallowed those words. Live for me. The tight, anxious knot in my chest loosened. You are my reason for tomorrow. It is that simple for me right now. Based on the Bryan Adams song, Everything I do it for you. Taking a step back and looking at the bigger picture. That is what defines it all for me.
You are my reason for tomorrow. I honestly don't even have the words to describe what reading that just did to me. Tomorrow is just one day closer to Saturday and one day closer to the rest of our lives. I am completely yours.
I sat there, staring at her response, a sudden wave of self-conscious panic washing over me. It was too raw. I had laid everything on the line, and the vulnerability of it was terrifying. I replied, "Yeah, that one was pretty heavy. Sorry if I'm saying too much. This is just so raw for me. I'm not sure if I should be saying these things or not. It doesn't seem like it is scaring you away. I'm not sure we shouldn't be saving these things for face to face time. And hell, I started this game, so I guess it is my own fault."
Don't ever think you have to walk on eggshells with me. We already completely demolished all those walls, remember? You can say exactly what you are feeling, even if it's messy or you don't have the perfect lyrics for it. I just want the real you, Roman. Always.
You are getting every single ounce of real me. I am completely open to you and 100% vulnerable to you right now. My heart is in your hands.
I promise you, I am holding it carefully. Your heart is completely safe with me. You never have to hide a single piece of it.
How about you take a turn with a song and lyrics? You seem to do a great job of closing out our nights with the perfect song.
I smiled, settling deeper into my cushions. I knew exactly which journey track to deploy. Since you brought out Journey earlier tonight, I think it is only fair that I use them to officially close this out. So now I come to you with open arms, nothing to hide, believe what I say. That is exactly where I am with you right now. I don't have a single piece of armor left, and I don't have a single thing to hide from you anymore. You should probably try to get some sleep and know that I am already counting down the hours until Saturday. I stared at the screen, waiting for his final sign-off. But the fixer had one last, devastating parting shot.
Lying beside you here in the dark, feeling your heartbeat with mine.
My breath caught, a beautiful electric shiver rolling down my spine. The visual image of lying beside him in his quiet penthouse, feeling his strong chest rising and falling against mine, it was completely unfair. You went right back to the very first line of the song. If you keep putting images like that in my head, Roman, I am absolutely not going to get any sleep tonight. Good night, Roman.
Good night. I hope your day tomorrow is perfect. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to have peace. I will spend my days making sure you have them every day. I'll chat with you tomorrow. TGIF.
You have already given me more peace in the last few months than I have had in my entire life. Knowing that you are choosing to spend your days making sure I keep it, I couldn't ask for a single thing more. Have a perfect Friday. I closed my phone, pulled the blanket up to my chin, and stared at the dark ceiling with a soft, completely unguarded smile. For the first time in a long time, I didn't feel like a countdown to something falling apart. It felt like a promise. And Saturday was almost here.